Okay, the big news this morning from the US Open. Top seed Novak Djokovic is out. He's been defaulted from the tournament. We are going to.
Yeah, it was very surprising. I was actually watching the match this morning. I mean, it's sad. It's actually, I don't think it was intentional. I know that he got broken and he was probably a little upset, but it was definitely not intentional to hit someone. But those are the rules of tennis, and it's a good. I think it's a good example for the youngsters to kind of learn that mistakes can happen at the highest of levels, and to kind of keep your emotions in check, and be a little bit not so reckless.
But just since you were watching the match, Manisha, and I also just looked at the footage. It's a tendency of all you tennis players at the moment you finish your service to take action is what I look at, and it was a complete disbelief at what he'd done.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, the chances and the odds of hitting someone are slim. I mean, I know there are three people behind you, but still, I don't think he wanted to hit anyone. He just wanted to hit the ball back. And usually what happens is that we make the ball bounce before just near the baseline, and then it rolls to somebody. In this case, I guess, it just didn't. And it was, I mean, it was definitely not intentional again, but it is what it is. And you see, he didn't really fight the call or anything, because all of us know those are the rules of tennis. If you do hit any ball boy or any official, intentional or unintentional, it is default. So I mean, I think that he was quite gracious about it.
Fair enough, Manisha. But let's also look at the when you talk of intentional, not intentional. It's dominating social media. But let's figure out what Djokovic has lost. There was no Federer. There was no Nadal. He was the favorite. He was unbeaten this year. He came all the way here to New York to just add to that Grand Slam tally. That's why it matters so much for him. This is a big blow. Forget everyone else. Whatever happened.
So it is a blow in that sense. I mean, it's monetarily or any other way, it's not that big a hit for him. It's not gonna, he's not gonna be fretting that much. But it's another opportunity lost to catch the greats, and that's probably what he's going to be most upset about.
Okay, Manisha, just looking at precedent, because a lot of people are drawing parallels to this. What happened with Serena Williams, in which against Kim Clijsters and then against Naomi Osaka, there was much more sort of malicious intent. Yet she wasn't chucked out back then. Against Kim Clijsters, she still had to lose the match because she didn't have a point penalty to give. But in the match against Osaka, it carried on. Just contrast this to, and why do you think the rules are so different in these two cases? Because the Serena's abuse of the chair umpire was much more severe, so to say, than what Djokovic did.
Well, yes, and that's what that's what's a little bit sad. But when you are abusing a chair umpire, it's actually then you are testing his tolerance or her tolerance levels, and it's how much patience she can put up with. So you may get the odd warning and you may get the point, but it's very rare that the chair umpire would have the guts, at least in a US Open final, to call a default. In this case, it's a very clear cut thing. It was not the chair umpire's call. It's just what the rule is. I mean, it's, if the tennis, you cannot forget, it's a gentleman's game, and it has very strict kind of framework, so to speak, to go within. So it's like in golf. I mean, if you putt the ball twice, or move the ball unintentionally, it is what it is. And so it's the similar mindset. In this case, on the chair umpire was left with a choice but to default. So he still kind of called in the to just to make sure, but it was sure to happen.
Okay. But Manisha, the funny thing here is just last night I was watching that Formula One race where everything just turned around, and this completely opens it up, doesn't it? Tennis comes back, Grand Slam happening. There's no Federer, no Nadal, no Djokovic. I mean, isn't that great?
I think it's always healthy. I think that we've seen the Djokovic's and the Nadals and even Federer for a long time now. So this will be a great opportunity for like a Zverev or somebody like that to kind of break through. I mean, even Shapovalov played fantastic this morning, and he's playing with Rohan in the doubles, and he's playing very, very well. I don't know if it'll parlay into a Grand Slam win, but I think that it'll be the emergence of a new young name for sure.
Okay, my final question to you, Manisha, and this perhaps will champion, sort of 17 Grand Slam titles, world number one, won all the Masters titles, but still he always says that I've not been loved as much as those other two. Does it come down to all this? Does it come down to the way he behaves, the kind of abrasive personality that he has. And do you think this goes into that as well? Great tweet this morning from the original bad boy of tennis, which was the Australian Kyrgios,
Yeah,
saying, "If I had done this, what would have happened to me?"
yeah. Well, I mean, I think that I mean it could be. I mean, I don't think that he's it's a very polar environment. So either you love him or you hate him. There's no middle ground with him. And if that has
But
been
why
an
is that,
intention,
Manisha? Hang on, sorry. Why is that? Why is that? I mean, he's won so many Grand Slams.
I
He's got such a great game.
yeah, I think a lot of that has been his own doing. I think he's always had a chip on his shoulder, and I think that he at a younger age he kind of did that to get the attention and to get the kind of eyeballs away from like a Nadal and a Federer and all of those people. So I mean, it was his own doing and his own persona that he kind of built to kind of not be like them. He was the antithesis, so to speak. Um, Going along, he's matured, I think, quite a lot. I think that I mean, he's a phenomenal player. I don't think anybody can take that away from him. And I think that, he has been a little bit condescending to the youngsters. He has been a little bit, um, not rude, but he's always poking fun at somebody. And whether it's in jest or whether it's in arrogance, sometimes the line is a little blurry. So it's a bunch of a lot of different kind of combinations. I mean, I'm not even talking about his locker room reputation, but I don't think that much cares about it. I think that um, I think Federer and Nadal have both been like the so-called nice guys, and that was their image, and that was what was portrayed all the time. Now he's the bad boy of image, and everybody has their own image. He's done a good job with that.
Okay, but it's clearly not a good 2020 for him, despite him, starting off malafide intention. But the fact that he's facing so much stick, perhaps go to show that he doesn't have that sort of the kind of stuff which is happening on the ATP Player Council. I mean, he's been pretty active there as well. So clearly, he's pretty much out. Thank you, Manisha, for this. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, Diggy.